Matt Loveless, a scholarly assistant professor at Washington State University, has been career-driven from a young age.
I knew I wanted to be a news anchor when I was like 13. And so I kind of did everything I could to use my voice in high school, and I knew about the broadcasting program here, so I came and went for it.
Loveless came to WSU to combine his passion for sports and reporting the news.
I wanted to be a sports writer, but that was back when I sounded like this. And then at some point my voice got a little deeper, and I was like, you know what, maybe I could stand in front of the camera and speak about sports. And so I wanted to be an ESPN like Sports Center anchor. That's what I wanted when I was a kid. And so when I came here, I told so many sports stories, and I got really involved. Like, I covered football practice every day. I went to every football game, got video of it. Went to the post-game press conferences, and really, as like a 19-year-old, just inundated myself. I was a sports reporter because I chose to be.
After graduating from WSU in 2007, he turned his attention to the professional world.
Now, my first job out of school, I was offered a news reporter job. I wanted to be a sports guy. So that was a little bit different. I was a little tangent on the path, but I love doing news as well. It's still storytelling, and it's still on-air presentation, and it's being relatable to an audience, all that kind of stuff that we sort of train for here.
After several years of reporting in Illinois, Loveless was faced with a tough decision.
I was actually in the midst of a contract negotiation to stay as the morning anchor at my station, and I was fully interested in staying, but somebody reached out to me and said, hey, we're going to be looking for somebody to teach our broadcasting courses here. So it took like a couple of hours for me to go from, no way, I'm not a teacher, to, what if I can make this work? I spent a weekend kind of talking to a number of people I currently work with now, Marvin Marcello, who teaches the broadcast production courses.
Through the pandemic, Loveless has gained new perspectives on news reporting.
What we've learned is that the story matters so much more than the quality of video, audio, that kind of stuff. And so I think there's been a lot of adaptations, at least in my classes, of sort of what I accept. And I harp on technical stuff still a lot, but I think just the ability to connect quickly and just be able to tell a good story, that really, the pandemic has really highlighted that change, I think, in the industry.
Outside of the studio, Loveless maintains a work-life balance through various interests.
Well, I have a couple of kids, so my hobbies are essentially them, as happens with especially a couple of young ones. I got into running a few years ago, so you'll find me on the trails around Pullman every once in a while doing some running. It's a way to keep in shape. Free gym membership outdoors, which I would prefer.
Loveless reflects on how life can pull you in different directions and yet at the same time bring you back home.
I always knew that you had to have sort of an adventurous spirit to be able to thrive in this business. Got a good piece of advice early in my career where they said, if you're not moving up. And so as much as I wanted to be like, I'm gonna go work in Seattle, and out of school, I was gonna be ready to go be a big shot. I knew that in order to really get my feet wet and to kind of broaden my horizons, I had to go a number of places. When the opportunity came to go to the Midwest and work in Illinois, kind of looked at my fiance at the time and said, do you want to have a little Midwest adventure? And we said, sure, we'll spend a couple years there. And then it's like 7.5 years later, we're still there. We've got a family, we've got a house, and it's funny the direction life takes you, but I don't regret it for a moment. I think that whole adventure probably led me here.